Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all. Welcome back to iSync Academy YouTube channel and Tableau Report. And I wish you all, because those who have followed these videos, and this is our last video on basic yelling. And you guys patiently watching all the videos completely from top to bottom, and we have added 15 videos. And if you're all of a sudden seeing this video in between, and then you have the icon link above to check the other videos that I have added in this list. And if you want to know more about it, watch my video number 2, which will allow you to know what content that I have covered in this data set. Again, I missed one of the content here, which is called the extract in a live data set, as I felt that if you are using a Tableau Public, we may not be able to use that effectively. So in today's class, our agenda is going to be very different, because for the first time we are going outside Tableau here, from a Tableau edition or a normal edition to we are going to go for Tableau Prep here. So the last class that we are about to do right now is on how to use Data Interpreter. Again, Data Interpreter can change your data a little bit, but it won't allow you to do things better. So instead of using the Data Interpreter, if you are using a complex data set in your list, I better wish you to use a Tableau Prep. Tableau Prep is your data preparation software in Tableau. In other words, we call it as ETL, extract, transform, and load, can be done very effectively in Tableau here. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. Again, when I use the Tableau Data Interpreter, again, in Tableau itself, I can use pivot, split column, multiple columns, metadata grids, and geographical areas. Everything can be fixed in Tableau itself to a great extent. But if you're using Tableau Prep, then your data will be in a perfect output data set, so that then you can build the data set better here. Before I start, I'll show you what data that I'm going to bring into the table, and then how this table is going to work for us effectively. We will set them on here. So I'm adding a data set here called Personal Vehicle Global Sales. So this is the actual data set here. Again, if I go down to this data set and if I use it, I need to really work way too much on it, or I have to work on this basic data itself and then clean the data set and then get the resulted output that I want. So this is the original data set, and if you are using Data Interpreter, then probably you need to make some changes like this and then start working with the data set. This way, your Data Interpreter will do something a little better here. Again, if you closely watch, I'm using an Excel file, so I'll have a lot of blanks in between. So all this data will be handled effectively here. So you can see all the data are coming up nice and clearly here. And then you can see all the data are going to work for you effectively. Let's see how I'm going to use Data Interpreter and how I'm going to use a Tableau Prep here. So first, take our normal data or normal Tableau Professional Edition software, and then I'm going to add this data set. So I'm going to go back to the second data set that I've shown you. First data set, I may not be able to use it properly in a Tableau Data Interpreter, so I'm going to go back to this list, and then I'm going to pick up this second line called the Personal Vehicles Global, and then I made some changes in the Excel sheet itself. When I do that, the system shows the data set like this first. And see, there is a lot of blank cells are available here, and when I check the Data Interpreter here, that's going to interpret the data set and then clean the data set to some extent. So this is the way it cleans the data set, and then when I review the data set as a result, it opens our data set in Excel and then gives you information what it did do. The data set where it removed something, where it has added something in this, and so on and so forth. And you can see the data set also comes from here in this particular pattern. Again, I can continue using the Data Interpreter here. For example, I want to use this data set a little better by coming down to this null value, and then I can hide this data. I don't want this data. I'm not removing it. I'm hiding it completely. And this is how now we get the data set nicely. But I want the data set to work even more better. So I'm going to click this column until the last column here. And then I'm going to convert this into a pivot here. When I do that, automatically it jumbles the data set. And if you want to change the name of the data set here, you can do that either by double clicking here or you can use a metadata set here that allows you to get the data set named after yes. I'm going to call this as yes. This is a metadata set changes, and then I'm going to call this as sales value. So now I got the data set almost clearly in the data set here, and then I'm going to go back to our sheet. I can add the countries to the column. And then I can add the sales to the values here. And then automatically it's going to review all the skills value based on IST. So if I take the country out of the equation, because the country gives you a lot of information, I can take the region here if I want. And that gives you the data set, and then I can do actually influence them betterly. So now I got the data set. Becomes my check. Now I know what is the highest is done by Asia and Oceania put together, and I can do the rest of the data set within this list. This is how I do a data interpreter in the data set. But if I want to use the data set a little better than this, then I will be using a Tableau prep here. Again, the data set gave me the right information on this list, but again, I can keep an output file if I wanted to. This is one way that I can do clean our data set. In our list, this is data interpreter and other data cleaning tools. In Tableau, you can use this even better as an output file here instead of using Tableau dataset. You can use the dataset by Tableau prep here. When I go to a Tableau prep, again, this allows me to add the data into a list, and then I can clean the data in a much more detailed format also. So the first time I'm opening Tableau Prep here, the Tableau Prep will allow you to data prepare your dataset. If your dataset is in a DLR way, you can do that. I can connect the dataset here, and then I'll go back to the Excel file, and I will choose the first Excel file this time around. So let me just add the original file itself. Then it shows you the entire dataset here for you. So the first dataset can allow you to do things better. Again, here we have a lot of steps which is involved to make our dataset work better. Again, here the dataset will be a little odd to work. For example, let me just remove this and then add the file which I took in the other dimension. And then here I can clean the dataset here. I'll click the step process here. I'll say clean the dataset here. It's going to show the entire dataset for me. And whatever column that I don't feel like I require it, so I'll select those 3 columns here, and then I can remove that. And I can perform the same pivot and unpivot option easily here. So I'm going to select the first year, 2005. I'll drag the cursor to the bottom, plus the shift button will click 2014, and then I can do the pivot the columns into a row. And that's going to change the data set completely for me. Then the data will have a different name altogether. I can double click and rename this as ES. And I can dump in that and make this. When this I got the years coming up properly here, then I go to the second point, right? I add values here and change the values from the size. Again, the advantage that I have in here is I can reorder the entire data set. I want the country to come first, region to come next, and then I want the year to come to the third point. I can drag and drop this to the last line item that I have here. Where we got the years after the countries in the list, and then I can drag into the sales also on the same pattern. So now we can see that very clearly that I have a data set in a nice way. And now I can convert this into an output file, which allows me to connect this to the Tableau and then make the data set work better. Now I'm going to just come back here, and this is the output name. I'll call this as the 3D data or personal vehicle. And then I'm going to convert this into a normal CSV file here. Now the data looks like this. And I run the flow. It's going to add the data set here. In this way, we will then activate that is synchronous of the data that I'm on. Well, let me keep on as output file itself. Going to clear me can there the simple CSV file. I think there is some errors out there. That I don't have any more, and there is only blank is there. So on to in glance yet. Let me check whether I have any blanks in this list. And so if there is any blanks that don't be removed here, all the number names can be removed. So all the data subject on this data set, perfect. When folks see my data, will give you the right answer to the moment. We keep all that on the same bed. Still have some issues with the data set. So our data, once we convert this, it will become a proper data set. And now you can open this file and see how the data set works first. And now I'm going to open this file directly from our list. This is how the data will look like for us. Now I can just not this data set in our list. Let me just mouse this and then move this data set to our desktop. So that I can use this in our Tableau edition to add a list. Now we're going to save this flow as it is. And when I open our Tableau professional edition, you can add this file. So I'll again go for CSV file because I converted that into a CSV file. Let me bring the output file into play. And once the data comes into play, this is a clean data set. I don't want the clean set. There is more data interpreter that's required. If you want to use it, you can use it. Or you can go back to sheet 1, drag your region to the columns, and drag your sales to the rows, and then we get the data set here. And sort the data set by the number of sales here, then drag the sales to the top of it. Still, if you want to break the years into play, then you can add the years in front of here. So pretty easier. Again, I'm going to change this years into the dimension here. Right, that way we can work over the data set better. So let me drag the years again after the then to static. So each and every year, what is the sales done by us? We can see it here. And if you want to go by the region, then I can add the region in front of the data set and then bring the year on top. So by that way, I can see the yearly scales that one happens here. And we can see the data set very clearly. If you want to make it granular, you can want this data set in the granular one if you want. So now I'm going to reiterate the same logic with year here. And now I know on the years that comes in play. I cannot convert this into a granular data set because this is not coming as a date, this is coming as a year here. So each and every year what happens in this list, you can see when I drag out the data set, you will see the 4 sales and Asia stays on top. Europe and NAFTA comes to the next. These spots in the vehicle sales in the entire world. So with this, I will end our final session on Tableau Basic Learning Program. So hope you guys have seen all my videos, and if you are not seeing this and if you are watching this video for the first time, then use the link above to see the other files, and you have 15 videos put together. First 2 video talks about the Tableau channel that I have started, and then the content that I'm going to forward. From the 3rd video, you have all the contents break up by module, and then we'll learn every aspect possible by us in Tableau for the basic understanding on how Tableau works. This is Vinod signing out for my Self Academy YouTube channel and Tableau Snippet YouTube channel. Happy analyzing. See you soon on Tableau Advanced Learning. Thank you so much.